In Court on TKO8 Television is brought to you in part by Campbell Bonding Company. Even the best of us make mistakes, so when trouble finds you, trust Campbell Bonding Company to help you through what can be a confusing and sometimes frightening experience. Jim, Robert, and Cole Campbell work as a family to offer your family understanding and compassion during a very difficult time. Campbell Bonding Company can help get your family back together quickly and confidentially. And in every step of the process, they're there for you. In times of trouble, let their family help your family. Campbell Bonding Company, 870-741-1138.
Thousand 17-264, State of Arkansas versus Michael Smith. Once again, is he someone who Public Defender's Office has received?
I represent him on two of his other cases, but I requested the jail send an application yesterday and I never got it, so he needs to apply for
I emailed it this morning.
Pardon?
I emailed the Public Defender application to Derek this morning.
Judge, if we represent Mr. Smith on two previous cases, I'll go ahead and enter our appearance for today until we get the paperwork straightened out. Enter a not guilty and waive a formal read of the information.
Let me check the charges here. The charges are possession of controlled substance, Schedule 1 or 2, methamphetamine or cocaine, possession of drug paraphernalia. The possession of controlled substance is a Class D felony. Possession of drug paraphernalia is a Class A misdemeanor. On that, I'm noting down a plea of not guilty on Mr. Smith's behalf. This matter will be on the Division 4 docket.
Judge, can we give it the same schedule that the court has given 2017-140? The charges are basically the same, possession of methamphetamine. And I believe that he is set for trial in 2017-140 for the week of March 12th of 2018.
All right, let me just check. All right. Court's going to set case 2017-264 by scheduling order. We'll set it down for a first review hearing on January 26, 2017. Pretrial will be set for February 9th. January 26, 2018, I meant to say. Pretrial February 9th, 2018. A plea deadline hearing of March 9th. And a trial is set for the week of March 12th of 2018. So those will be the settings on the case. which should match up with 2017-140. All right, let's see. Does bond need to be addressed? Mr. Gibson, you know anything about bond on this matter?
Judge, I don't. I didn't know that Mr. Smith had this new case, so well, I guess I've discussed everything there.
Let me check here. It's noted on the information. Yeah. Bond is recommended at $2,500, so.
Judge, that seems awful low considering he has pending case 2016-235, 2017-140, and now 2017-264. While bond ensures one's appearance in court, that's not the only purpose of bond, and it appears that this guy has a chronic methamphetamine problem because apparently every time he comes into contact with law enforcement, he has methamphetamine.
Do you have any idea what bond he was out on when he got this charge?
Mr. Smith, what bond were you out on? The amount when you were caught on this?
$10,000 cash pro.
Yeah.
Judge, part of his problem is that on May 26 of 2017, he did not appear for arraignment in 2017-140, and he was only picked up on August 26th, it appears. So he's been in jail basically, I guess, on a no bond from his prior arrest.
Well, based on this new arrest, there's been no formal revocation of the previous bond, has there?
Well, there sort of has in that he was being held no bond based on his alias warrant in 2017-140. The state itself has not filed a petition to revoke the bond since the court already took care of that when the court issued a no bond alias warrant for his failure to appear.
Judge, I'd ask that the $10,000 bond, if the bondsman will stay on it, cover all his cases. In this matter, Mr. Smith was contacted by the police because crimes happened in the city of Harrison, so they wanted to make contact with him. Mr. Smith admitted to the officer that he did have a warrant. He didn't run. He surrendered himself to the officer when he came and admitted that he did have a warrant when the officer made contact with him.
Well, the court has a real problem when somebody's out on bond and they immediately or relatively immediately get a new bond arrangement. We also have the problem of his failure to appear that generated the alias warrant. I don't believe he should be held no bond, but at this point, the court is proposing to set bond at $20,000 cash or professional bond, which would be applicable in case 2017-140, 2017-264, and the third one was 2017-235.
216-235.
Oh, that's 16-235. Has that case not been disposed of on Judge Putman's docket? I mean,
I don't believe so because the public defender's office says that they represent him already on 2 prior cases.
To my understanding, Judge, he's not been adjudicated in that.
Okay. Well, I'm setting the bond at $20,000 cash or professional bond. It'll be conditioned upon no use or possession of any form of drugs or alcohol. If Mr. Smith, if you bond out and you found in possession of drugs or alcohol, you are subject to being held no bond until the situation is further processed in court. So if you make that bond, not only do you have all the obligations to appear when you're ordered to appear, but you also have an obligation not to be in possession of any drugs or alcohol or with people, in the presence of people who have drugs or alcohol. So just want to point out to you, you need to change some things in your lifestyle if you're going to be bonded out. So where are you currently residing?
West Ridge, Harrison.
In where? West Ridge Avenue?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Yes.
Are you living with family? Who are you living there with?
Family.
Are you employed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Where are you employed?
I roof with Joe Sexton.
Oh, roof. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that'll be the bond that I'm setting then, $20,000 cash or professional bond, conditioned as stated. So,
And Judge, if I could
and that will
approach-
cover all of these cases.
He did get his application to us for this.
Okay. Very good. You may be excused, sir.
My name is Deborah. I work at Dental Creations on the Square in Harrison. Not only do I work at the front desk, but I'm also a dental assistant. So I'm seeing you from the beginning, throughout the whole process, and even at the end of the process. We're happy to help in any way we possibly can, and I think that sets us apart from most offices. We don't just hustle you through here just to make a dollar. We're here for you, and we want to do the best we can for you.
Dental Creations on the Square in Harrison, next to the Big Red Boot.
2016-353, State of Arkansas versus Charles Dwight King, Jr.
Judge, we'll need Mr. King transported as well.
All right. Mr. King, the court's going to direct that you be transported over for the afternoon session of court, so you may be excused for now.
Thank you.
Uh, 2017-98, State of Arkansas versus Clarissa Marie Lockhart. Mr. Gibson, Ms. Lockhart.
Judge, there are no issues to take up on Ms. Lockhart's case.
She's down for trial next week.
She is, Your Honor. She is the third out.
Okay. There's also case 2017-166. Is that, that's not on our call list here.
Judge, I don't believe it's on the docket today.
Mr. Carter, is that case, where does that case stand?
Judge, both these cases are related. In fact, it's the exact same fact situation. Although the case 2017-166 is set for trial the week of January 2nd.
Judge, I'll visit with the state and see if they
Okay,
can combine
so
those.
that
one or the other.
166 is set, it has a setting, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I was trying to confirm. I didn't want it just kind of lingering out there if we hadn't. All right.
Is there any way I can talk to Mr. Gibson related to yesterday when we had a visit at all?
I don't want anyone to think I'm asking her to be transported because I'm guaranteeing it will be disposed of. But if we could bring her over, it may help dispose the case.
All right. I will direct then that Miss Lockhart be brought over this afternoon. You may be excused for now.
Thank you.
All right. 2017-88, State of Arkansas versus Dawn Smith.
Judge, this is one that I've not visited with Mrs. Smith. It looks like she was FTA. My last record shows an alias was issued on June 23rd, and then it was recalled on 8/18, and she wasn't here as well. So I've not visited with Mrs. Smith.
We don't have her set on a schedule, though, what I'm concerned with. Let me see what this history is.
Well, Judge, I think we have 9/29 as a plea deadline and trial for the week of October 2nd.
I mean, that's what it says here, but I'm not seeing that scheduling order listed on Court Connect.
Judge, if I could inquire, Don, would you be agreeable to a probation deal?
No, I want to find probation.
Judge, we can have her brought over. Crime lab's in. We got a probation plea she's willing to take. So I've just not had a chance to visit with her because she was.
All right. Court will direct that Ms. Smith will be brought over. You may be excused for now.
Thank you.
2014-86, State of Arkansas versus Larry Michael Berkeley.
Judge, there are no issues to take up on Mr. Berkeley's case.
Okay, Mr. Berkeley's case, the court's noting for the record that Mr. Berkeley's case is set for trial the week of November 6th. Is it, I'm inquiring of both sides, is it on track to be tried the week of November 6th?
It is, Your Honor. I've given the defense a huge amount of discovery in this case, including the transcript from the trial in Tennessee that involves many of the same issues and same victims in the case, and it will be first out because he is technically the property of the state of Tennessee.
All right. Mr. Berkeley, your case is set for trial, as I stated previously, in the week of November 6th, 2017. You may be excused today.
Even the best of us make mistakes, so when trouble finds you, trust Campbell Bonding Company to help you through what can be a confusing and sometimes frightening experience. Jim, Robert, and Cole Campbell work as a family to offer your family understanding and compassion during a very difficult time. Campbell Bonding Company can help get your family back together quickly and confidentially. And in every step of the process, they're there for you. In times of trouble, let their family help your family. Campbell Bonding Company, 870-741-1138. The Townhouse Cafe in downtown Harrison is offering a great reason to wake up on Saturday mornings. Their incredible brunch. Starting at 7 a.m., you can enjoy all of your traditional breakfast favorites or some of these decadent dishes. Eggs Benedict, featuring an English muffin topped with ham, 2 eggs, made any way you like, and topped with fresh-made hollandaise sauce. Plus, you'll also get your choice of hash browns or home fries. Perhaps something even more delectable. Townhouse Cafe's fabulous U.S. farm-raised butterfly trout grilled with a drizzle of hollandaise sauce, 2 eggs any way you like, hash browns or home fries, and either a biscuit or toast on the side. Absolutely delicious. Saturday brunch at the Townhouse Cafe in downtown Harrison.
Courts moving on to 2016-336, State of Arkansas versus Jennifer Carbonero.
Good. She's made application to the Public Defender's Office for approach.
All right. Okay, so we've cleared the Showalter law firm from representing her. There's no indication any longer that.
No, Your Honor, and in fact, in talking to them, it's true that the female attorney that she's talking about does represent her in Washington County, but absolutely denies that they represent her here. Mr. Showalter has a pending motion to withdraw from her case in Stone County. I talked to Tom Gardner, who's the prosecutor over there, and they are offering her 6 years in Department of Corrections, followed by a 6-year suspended imposition of sentence. So that update, and I think she has to appear there on October 5th. She is currently on our jury trial schedule, and I believe that she is 6th out.
And Judge, obviously we just got appointed today. I can't try it next week, so I asked that we reset her trial to the November term. Doesn't look like it's that complicated enough of a case. If it is, I'll ask for more time, but we'll see if we can't get her resolved.
Okay, noting that the Public Defender's Office has been appointed to represent her because of the very recent appointment, the court is continuing the trial date off the October 2nd week, and I'll reflect a continuance at defense request, so it'll be an excluded period. I'm continuing it until the November 6th, which is the week of November 6th. So, Ms. Carbonero, you understand that the public defender, Mr. Gibson, is being appointed to represent you, and your case is being moved off. It was originally scheduled for trial next week. It's now being moved to the week of November 6th.
Yes.
Right.
I know. I was going to see if I can get a bond. I have court in Washington County on the 18th and in Sharp County on the 20th.
Judge, since I've talked to Tom Garner's office, they're making arrangements to have her brought over to court.
Okay. Is there a bond set in this case?
Judge, I believe there was an alias warrant, and that's how she came to be where she's at today.
And Judge, since these charges arose, obviously she's picked up charges in Stone County and charges in Washington County.
Stone or Sharp, or are these all?
Sharp County.
Okay. Well, Tom Garner's the one prosecuting her, so whichever county it is.
Okay. All right. Well, the court at this point is not going to grant the. It's not going to set a bond. Well, let me make sure what I've done in the past before I.
On September 1st, court said no bond.
Okay. Originally, in this case, back in 2016, I set a bond of $15,000, or one was set, that she made.
And my bondsman said he'd stay on my original bond if need be.
You know, facts have changed considerably since then, including the fact that you have multiple additional charges. I'm just seeing if I've set any other bond. Alias warrant in August, and that's what bond forfeiture hearing scheduled. Court at this point is going to leave it as set without bond, subject to her reappearing on November 6th, and we'll take up the issue of that perhaps after some of these other counties have had an opportunity to review their status. So, court's willing to review her bond status on November 6th, but for now I'm leaving it without bond based on the alias warrant that she was picked up on.
Judge, could we ever set for an appearance for a plea deadline on November 3rd?
Yes, I'm sorry. I meant to do that already. She's to reappear on November 3rd. That's actually when the bond will be returnable. All right. Ms. Carbonaro, you may be excused.
Thank you.
2017-184, State of Arkansas versus Gregory Wade.
Judge, there's no pretrial issues to take up at this point. He's set for the January trial term. Discovery's been provided. Case is tracking as it should.
All right. Yeah. Mr. Wade, your case is currently scheduled after today for a reappearance on November 3rd and set on the court's docket for trial during the week of January 2nd of 2018. So that's the status of your case. You may be excused.
Thank you.
2017-94, State of Arkansas versus Daniel Birdie. There's also a revocation case in 2016-70.
Judge, Mr. Birdie's made it.
Do you know if you already represent him on 2016-70 revocation case?
Yeah. Yes, we do. So, Judge, I represented him in the beginning on the underlying charge, so.
No. Court's making the appointment in case 2017-94 of the Public Defender's Office to represent Mr. Birdie. All right.
Judge, in the revocation case and now in the underlying case 2017-94, I'm giving Mr. Gibson discovery in both of those cases.
appears that on April 21st of 2017, an alias warrant was issued for his failure to appear in 2017-94. And that's the last entry made on the docket in that particular case. Trying to see when that alias warrant was served. Maybe it's noted on the other. The revocation hearing was set on in 2016-70 in front of Judge Putman on April 21st. I'm trying to see where that, what the disposition of that was.
Judge, it may have been an issue where Mr. Birdie was picked up on the FTA and just ordered to appear in front of Judge Putman because you were the sentencing judge in this matter, so it should remain a Division 4 matter.
Let me check that. I was back in January. I was the sentencing judge. Apparently, the warrant was served. Let's see when it was served.
The revocation warrant was served on 9/9.
September 9th. That's just what I found. And he was put down to appear in front of Judge Putman on the 21st of September. So I guess that's why given an 8.1 on September 13th. Revocation hearing was scheduled on September 21st. And he was put down for today's date for Judge Putman on September 22nd put him down on the revocation case for scheduling for hearing today, and then the defendant agreed to waive the 60-day requirement, and this matter was just set over for today. But this is one of those cases that appears. In any case, it's down, technically down for revocation today on that case, but there's no setting in case 2017-94. That case, as I say, basically goes off the books defies my imagination I'd ever be able to figure out how to do it, but I really need a split screen, multiple screens, when we have defendants have multiple cases, because I have to keep going back and forth. But 2017-94, quite literally, has no entry after April 24th of 2017. And we haven't scheduled it for trial, so I think we need to do that. I'm a little confused about why it wasn't set earlier, but we're going to do it today. I'm going to set it down for trial during the November 6th trial week.
Judge, unless I'm missing something, I think in 2017-94, this is technically his arraignment.
I was just thinking the same thing, Judge. If he's not been arraigned,
it was scheduled for arraignment. I guess that's I was reading that as the arraignment, but maybe I'm misreading it because I didn't pull up the actual order.
Judge, if he's not been arraigned, would we have a formal reading of the information entering?
Okay, the charges
Not
against
guilty.
him are theft of property, a Class D felony, and criminal attempt. She doesn't say what. Criminal attempt, Class A misdemeanor. On those charges, the court, how does he now plead?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
Let me see what the filing date was March 30th. The violation date is alleged March 6th. What the court will do is, I'm going to set this case down. This is 2017-94. I'm setting it by scheduling order. It'll be for trial during the week of January 2nd, 2018. It will be I'm going to set it for pretrial and for essentially a plea deadline date on November 3rd. If it, I want to look at it for both those purposes on November 3rd. We may put in an extended plea deadline date depending on what happens on November 3rd. That'll be the order of the court.
And Judge, in 2016-70, can we set it for a revo hearing on 11/3? We'll still be within our 60 days.
All right. We'll set that. We're going to set the revocation case for hearing on 11/3. That's in 2016-70. All right. All right, sir. You may be excused.
Can we work on a bond?
Judge, he was a fugitive for 5 months. And a fugitive while on probation. State's opposed to any bond.
Mr. Gibson, I'll hear from you.
Judge, I'm familiar with Mr. Birdie from the previous case, the underlying charge. I don't know anything about the new stuff. Mr. Birdie was good at that point about He made several office visits with me. Generally, if they're visiting with me, they're showing up for court. I can't say whether or not, out of memory, Mr. Birdie made court dates, but I know that he made several office conferences with me and handling his case. So I think he's I won't say a lifelong resident, but he's been in Boone County for some time.
Actually, part of the allegations are when we went to visit him at his parents' house, he had left the state without permission.
That's not fully true. I was still working in Harrison, Arkansas. My parents just didn't know where I was at.
Nor did probation.
Yeah, that's... Mr. Birdie, when you're on probation, it's your responsibility to keep in touch with probation, I'm not going to lecture you at this point, but it's not a very good argument that you were there, but weren't living where you told probation you were supposed to be living. In any case.
Judge, I might add, Campbell Bonding tried to get a hold of him and couldn't reach him.
Where were you working, Mr. Birdie?
I was working for a painting company under the table.
Okay. Well, if you can find somebody to if you were released at this point, where would you be living?
I have no other choice but my parents.
I'm going to, if you can find somebody that will bond you at $20,000, cash or professional bond, conditioned upon you residing at your parents' house, and he'll have to provide that address and information upon, that's where you'll be living. You'll be required as a condition of bond to become gainfully employed again. Fully resume reporting, complying with all the requirements of probation, and that all of that will be conditions of your bond. The bond, as I say, will be $20,000 cash or professional, conditioned upon compliance with all of those requirements. And your next court appearance date in both cases is November 3rd. All right.
All right.
You may be excused at this time.
The Townhouse Cafe in downtown Harrison is offering a great reason to wake up on Saturday mornings. Their incredible brunch. Starting at 7 a.m., you can enjoy all of your traditional breakfast favorites or some of these decadent dishes. Eggs Benedict, featuring an English muffin topped with ham, 2 eggs, made any way you like, and topped with fresh-made hollandaise sauce. Plus, you'll also get your choice of hash browns or home fries. Perhaps something even more delectable. Townhouse Cafe's fabulous U.S. farm-raised butterfly trout grilled with a drizzle of hollandaise sauce, 2 eggs any way you like, hash browns or home fries, and either a biscuit or toast on the side. Absolutely delicious. Saturday brunch at the Townhouse Cafe in downtown Harrison.
Join Sammy Klein Thursdays and Fridays during the TKO8 local newscast for this week's closing livestock market report, made possible by Quality Feed Grains of Harrison and Bellefonte. Quality Feed Grains has you covered. Everything for cattle, pets, deer, equine, poultry, seed and spray, show feed, and garden. Check their website, qualityfeedgrains.com, now for this month's special. Quality Feed Grains of Harrison and Bellefonte, proud sponsors of the Livestock Report with Sammy Klein on Harrison's broadcast station TKO Channel 8.
When you support a locally owned pharmacy, you're contributing to the growth of a community. The dollars you spend stay right here to support our local community. Health Mart pharmacies are locally owned pharmacies. There is one right here. Health Mart pharmacists have a crucial commitment to their community because just like you, they support their community. Health Mart pharmacies are locally owned and hometown proud. Harrison has a Health Mart now. Sam Alexander Pharmacy, on the square in downtown Harrison. Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
2017-146, State of Arkansas versus Frederick Holmes.
Judge, I believe Mr. Holmes is on the docket based on his failure to appear on the September 15th date.
Judge, I don't know if it's been served on him, but he also has a new Class D felony for possession of drug paraphernalia.
I show there's a scheduling order on Mr. Holmes that has him for trial on January 2nd of 2018. A plea offer, a plea acceptance or rejection date of November 3rd. A pretrial date of October 20th. All of those, the scheduling order was entered back in June, and those are the dates for future appearances on that scheduling order. And then the alias warrant was issued for his failure to appear on September 1st, which was his basic reappearance date to check on the status of the case. He's currently incarcerated. The warrant that was issued, the alias warrant was served on September 23rd, and that's why he is currently incarcerated. Just so there's no confusion, on the returned warrant it lists a court appearance date of October 27th. I'm canceling that and informing Mr. Holmes that if he were to be released at this point, his next appearance will be October 20th in front of this court. The Public Defender's Office is representing him?
Correct, Your Honor.
All right. I'm noting that fact. Judge, his current status is he's being held no bond.
Correct, Your Honor. I was going to ask if we could address bond.
All right.
I was going to assume that there was a no bond based on the failure to appear. My notes reflect that on 9/1, Mr. Holmes didn't show up, but then came to our office. We told him to come on 9/8. I believe that was a Judge Putman day to see if the warrant would be removed, and I don't believe he showed up on that date, or if he did, he was given 9/15 and didn't show up again. And I think part of that issue may have been when we sent him the scheduling order. If he missed that 9/1 date on the scheduling order, then he wasn't going to reappear again until 10/20. Mr. Holmes, do you have a reason you weren't in court on the 1st or the 8th?
Well, when they give me the schedule me to come back in that Friday, I got the paper in the mail saying, I think it was the 20th or the 27th, and I was going off the paper on the 27th, and so I didn't show up for that court, and I was going to come in for the next court date, because I think it was due to see Best Web there. So that's why I went off of them, and they picked me up and brought me in.
And Judge, we may have orally told him something, then he got a letter from our office giving him a different court date. Sounds like it's what's happened.
Well, I don't think the 27th, October 27th date doesn't appear in any of these documents until he was actually served with his warrant, and that was on September 25th. Or that's the date the warrant was returned. He was served on the 23rd, I think it was. I said so. I mean, that has nothing to do with his failure to appear, according to what I can read here in the record. He may have misunderstood that he was supposed to appear on October 20th, but that was a date he was given to appear. At the same time, he was given the date to appear on September 1st. So I don't understand the misunderstanding. He was told to appear on September 1st and didn't do it. So,
Judge, I think what happened is it looks like we gave him his scheduling order on September the 8th before Judge Putman. We gave him a copy of his scheduling order, and Judge Putman may have removed or withdrawn that warrant because he missed 9/1 was when the alias was issued that caused the problem. And then he showed up on 9/5 at our office saying he'd missed his court date. We told him to show up at 9/8. On 9/8, he showed up in front of Judge Putman, and our notes show that we gave him his scheduling order on 9/8 in court to show up, which the next date would have been October the 20th.
There's nothing in the record of this court that shows he appeared on September 8th. I guess I won't, If your records indicate that, then well and good. But somehow that should have gotten translated, but it's not.
And Judge, our note is just a handwritten on the bottom of a copy of the criminal scheduling order. It says copy given in court 9/8/17. So
Judge, on 9/8 he did appear. He applied to the public defender's office at that time, and Judge Putman told him to show up on 9/15.
Okay, so your records indicate he was told to appear on 9/15.
Right.
I had in my handwritten ledger 9/15 alias issued, but what we'd have gave him in 9/8 when he left court would have said come back on 10/20.
Yeah, but when the judge says 9/15, it's 9/15.
Well,
and Judge, now digging all the way through, I have a handwritten note, our court date confirmation that told him to be here on 9/15 as well. So we gave him his scheduling order and also gave him a court date confirmation to appear on 9/15.
So I guess Mr. Holmes, my question to you is why didn't you appear in front of me on 9/15, on September 15th?
That was the thing that when he gave me the paper, I was thinking he was saying, I believe the 20th was my next date. Well, after he told me that they gave me the paper saying the 15th or whatever, they sent me a paper saying either the 20th or 22nd, maybe. I don't know what day it was, but that's the day I was coming in. And then they picked a probation roll to pick me up.
Judge, if it may kind of help the court to understand what he's referring to. This is what we handed him in open court, and it would have had these different dates as an order, but this was also what we show was given. it also showed that we gave him this on 9/8, telling him to appear on 9/15. So he would have got both of these on the same day, and it sounds like he's saying he relied on this date as opposed to this date.
All right. Well, Mr. Holmes, I would think that when you're, this isn't your first time through the system. I'm well aware of that. And I would think you would understand that when you're given a date, if there's some confusion about the date, I would think you'd be smart enough to understand that you show up on the earliest date to make sure you don't miss a date, because you knew what the consequence of missing a date was. That is, a warrant issued and you got put in jail. So, I'm just having a hard time understanding how you could have been quite so confused. But in any case, I'm going to set a bond. The previous bond, let's see.
Judge, now, the court needs to be aware, when we picked him up on September 23rd, he had drug paraphernalia on his person.
Okay.
No drugs that we found.
Has that been charged?
It has been charged. I don't think the file itself has been set up, and he's probably not been served a warrant, because it's only been 5 days.
Was it charged as a felony or
charged as a felony, Class D?
Okay. The original bond, according to this, was $10,000. If his bondsman's willing to stay on that, I'm willing to set his original and put it in place his $10,000 bond. He either makes a new bond for $10,000 if his bondsman isn't willing to stay on it, or if his bondsman is willing to do it. He's bonding out. And Mr. Holmes, so it's absolutely clear, October 20th is your next time to appear in court, and you need to be here. You're already set for trial in January of 2018, the week of January 2nd, and you have another date to appear on November 13th. But I don't want to confuse you with that. October 20th is the next time you need to be in court if you make that bond. So that's your status.
Judge, did that cover the new upcoming case or just this case?
I'm not going to cover.
I think the bond in the other one, the state said, should be about $1,500, $2,500, so that we'll let it sit on its own as it.
We'll deal with that when it gets here, I guess.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, you may be excused.
Yes.
And the conditions on that bond, Mr. Holmes, just so you understand, while you're out on bond, you're not to have in your possession any drugs, alcohol, or paraphernalia related to drug use.
Yes.
All right.
In Court on TKO8 Television is brought to you in part by Campbell Bonding Company. Even the best of us make mistakes, so when trouble finds you, trust Campbell Bonding Company to help you through what can be a confusing and sometimes frightening experience. Jim, Robert, and Cole Campbell work as a family to offer your family understanding and compassion during a very difficult time. Campbell Bonding Company can help get your family back together quickly and confidentially. And in every step of the process, they're there for you. In times of trouble,